Welcome in, beautiful souls. I want to take a moment today to share a very personal transition, and it affects all of us. And that is the shift from the Hermetically Speaking podcast title to it now being called a Spiritual World podcast. Really, just a spiritual world. However, it's a podcast, so I just threw that last little word in there. Anyways, you might wonder what's really changing. And honestly, not a whole lot. We've already grown into the energy of a spiritual world over the past year. The energy, the essence, and the depth that you've always felt here, which is a remaining continuous path of growth, it continues. And yet at the same time, in many ways, this feels even more alive, making this final leap of faith, this final transition, turning into this new chapter, writing this new book. And to be honest, it was me. I was having a very grievous time releasing Hermetically Speaking over the past year, back into the vastness of the universe. I had to go through a process, really understanding like when I was gifted a spiritual world, how was I supposed to make both of these work with my attachment still to Hermetically Speaking? And Hermetically Speaking was born almost half a decade ago during a time of profound mental and spiritual psychosis, a true transformation that was both excruciating and illuminating, and that I am still shedding attachment to of the circumstances and the experience altogether that happened over those 5 or 6 years that I went through the psychosis and what was born out of it. It was a time, though, when the energies of Hermeticism and great cosmic teachers were initially making themselves known to me, guiding me through lessons and mastery and the dance between student and teacher. And through those years, I was shown the vastness within myself and within all of us, that we each hold crystalline, multidimensional wisdom waiting to be remembered and embodied. I learned that every exchange is an activation, a chance to deepen our collective healing and liberation. I remembered that our descents, our rock bottoms, are not failures. They are literally alchemical invitations to rise, to transmute, and to return to who we truly are beneath the stories and the wounds, right? You'll hear me mention over and over again, that is what true hermetic vibration is going down into the descents to climb back up. And it is time that we come alive in ways humanity has yet to truly witness. Hermetics is everything to me. And when I say that, I mean it is all encompassing. It holds everything in existence within it, and it's up to us to dig back down through it all and remember who we are at the foundation of it, past the beliefs, the clutter, the programming, the pain, and the suffering. And now it is time for me to release it and allow it to bloom into the newness that it is becoming. Hermetically speaking was the caterpillar, and a spiritual world is the butterfly. Because a spiritual world is vast, more inclusive. It's a space that holds all of this, holds everything and more. A spiritual world is the invitation into a larger field where every modality, every lesson, and every frequency can coexist and weave together. There is so much still unfolding. New offerings, a new website, deeper guidance, community spaces, all coming soon and in their own timing. And I look forward to sharing it all when that timing is right. The heart of this podcast has grown beyond its initial activation point into a deeper understanding of oneness. However, its purpose still stands firm, supporting the betterment of humanity during this powerful time of awakening. And yet in a more expansive way. How better to support humanity than to understand and embody the oneness? And to remember, to ultimately remember that when it comes down to it, you yourself are a spiritual world within a spiritual world, the mind within the mind of the all. This is a space to meet yourself on every level, to understand and embody that while we never stop learning from each other, we are ultimately our own gurus. And when I say guru, I mean it in its truest essence. Because in Sanskrit, the etymology of guru means heavy, heavy with knowledge and presence and divine light. And poetically, gu represents the darkness and ru represents the light, bringing the light to dispel the darkness, while always remembering that all darkness wants to be light, and all light takes an interval in being darkness so it can understand and grow more in spirituality, in consciousness, in experience, in vibration, in evolution. And here, on planet Earth, we are here to lay down the weights of this world as we have known them through the centuries and pick up the true heaviness, the golden divine wisdom that has long been waiting for us. So, we get lost to be found, to find forgiveness, to find compassion, to find healing, to find love, and to find the creatrix within, activating it to fulfill our dharma, our soul's purpose, and create the lives that we dream of. And still so much more. Thank you so very much for growing with me, for witnessing my journey and sharing in my own growing pains, witnessing them more than anything. I don't want to share those with you necessarily, but honoring that I am going through them to bring this into fruition, as well as for sharing your own. I am honored to be here with you as a channel and as a companion, walking side by side. Now, there are 2 more podcast episodes that were created and scheduled under the Hermetically Speaking branding. You'll see those published over the next 2 Mondays following this announcement. They are a beautiful part of this final chapter and transition. So to reduce any confusion, I figured it best to mention that, as well as being a manifesting generator, I'm technically supposed to make others aware of my steps forward to help reduce confusion and chaos. So definitely want to do that. Goodness knows that this transition has been personally difficult on me over this past year, and a soft and uncomplicated release is very much invited and what we're walking into. So, if you see those come through, know they are meant to flow out as they were originally created, and then we'll move forward fully under the new name and uplifting vibration. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your courage to explore. Welcome to the soft transition into a spiritual world podcast. Let's keep discovering together. Namaste and many, many blessings on your way.